Gear 5 is finally here. After being revealed in the manga over a year and a half ago, the anime watchers have finally been blessed in glorious fashion with the greatest power-up in the history of Shonen. Gear 5, the human fruit model Nika, Joy Boy, whatever you want to call it, Oda is him with this peak writing. Also, can we talk about the animation that Toei put out for this episode? Oh my gosh, I knew that it was going to be crazy when they announced the trailer, but my goodness, this is some of the best animation the medium has seen, and it's certainly the best in the history of One Piece. I mean, the colors, lighting, fluidity, impact, it's just so gorgeous. I'll say it again for the people in the back. This is peak One Piece, peak Shonen, peak anime, and peak fiction. Demon Slayer who? Jujutsu Kaisen who? One Piece, the GOAT, is back and firmly cementing itself as the clear number one. I mean, honestly, it's crazy the amount of time and effort that must have gone into this episode. I mean, it was like the pages of the manga came to life in front of me. Everything about it was just so well done. I mean, this is a weekly serialization, and so they must have been working on this episode on the side, while animating current episodes, which is an incredible feat, and I cannot praise them enough. Honestly, they deserve a round of applause again. It was so gorgeously animated, and the sound design, my goodness, the drums of liberation will be stuck in my head for the next week, month, year, I don't even know how long. It was everything I imagined while reading the manga and more. Incredible. Also, Luffy's voice actress, she killed it. It's incredible to just see her just effortlessly pull this off. I mean, she's been doing the character for 20 years, so it makes sense, but she just was perfect for this moment and couldn't have imagined it being done any better than the way she did it. Incredible all around. Look, where to even start with how peak Gear 5 is? I mean, it's an astonishing accomplishment in the shonen genre, due to the fact that it is a story-altering revelation that doesn't feel like a deus ex machina plot armor moment, but rather a perfect reveal that makes perfect sense within the context of the story that has been set out thus far. I truly do not believe there is another mangaka within the shonen genre who would be able to pull off a power-up like this without it feeling ridiculous, cheap, and unearned. However, again, Oda is him, and he pulled it off with flying colors due to the meticulous and detailed nature in which he has dropped hints and setup all along this over 1,000 episode run. All the hints to Nika the sun god, the one the prisoners look to for liberation, the iconography of that jump in front of the moon and how Luffy's silhouette looks similar at times, the mythos of Joy Boy, who has been set up for what feels like forever, and his relation to Luffy has been so meticulously planned out and hinted at through things like Luffy hearing the sea creatures along with Shirahoshi, the idea of the Will of D, and Joy Boy possibly being linked to that. Or who can ignore the symbolic meaning of Luffy's smile and its similarity to the entire idea of Joy Boy and his smile? I mean, in general, when we just look at who Luffy is, the themes of freedom radiate from his character in a way that just bellows the embodiment of liberation and joy. Now, along with these very obvious in-story hints relating the mythos of Joy Boy to Luffy's own character and symbolism within the story, there are so many moments throughout the story to look back on that make you feel that this idea of Joy Boy has existed within Luffy through his actions and the way in which they are depicted. Putting the hat on Nami, hitting Enel into the bell at Skypiea, standing on the parapets at Eni's lobby, punching the Celestial Dragon, standing against the Three Admirals, stopping Doflamingo's foot, walking between Kaido and Big Mom. I mean, I can go on and on. All these moments just scream of Luffy's true identity as a freedom fighter who defends the weak and opposes those who would choose to hurt them. All these reasons for me just make this power-up so perfect, due to the way Luffy, the story, and the mythos behind Nika and Joy Boy has been set up. And I truly believe that there is no other shonen that will ever be able to achieve what Oda has done here with Gear 5. Also, before I move on, I want to say that I really appreciate the fact that Luffy has not been taken over by Joy Boy, but that Joy Boy is personified through Luffy due to him awakening the Devil Fruit, showing that the Devil Fruit, which we know has a will of its own, chose Luffy due to his own character rather than changing him and shaping who he was. It's a kind of small detail, but the fact that this is not a chosen one trope where Luffy's character is taken over and changes drastically is something I am so thankful Oda stayed away from. Now, getting into the actual powers, This is perfect. The Gum Gum fruit being a fake out for the human fruit model Nika makes perfect sense, because there have always been things Luffy has done that feel beyond the scope of his devil fruit abilities when it comes to the other gears, setting himself on fire, or even Snake Man. However, it hasn't been things where there wasn't always some sort of valid explanation for how it could be pulled off with rubber. But of course, this new ability, Luffy's body being able to do whatever he can think of or imagine, is so perfect. I'll say it again, but the whole idea of this power-up being Luffy, the embodiment of freedom, having the freedom to fight in whichever way he thinks up or desires, is just so perfect for the character of Luffy and the story of One Piece. Again, I feel that this power-up can only be achieved after watching Luffy's character and actions over the course of this story, as if not, it wouldn't have been so much meaning in terms of symbolism and setup. I really appreciate that Oda has set up awakenings being a thing all the way in, I believe, Dressrosa with Doflamingo, and we have seen many other characters get their awakenings up to this point. So this idea of a new power-up didn't come out of nowhere, and we were all waiting expectantly to see what Luffy's awakening will be. And this, Gear 5, how many times do I need to say it? It is peak! Also, getting back to this episode in particular and the fight, it's just so perfectly One Piece in how goofy, funny, and over the top it is, while also feeling like you are watching one of the coolest and greatest moments ever depicted within the medium of anime. I feel like only One Piece has that ability to be simultaneously brilliant, yet ridiculously funny at the same time. I think this also makes the power-up happening in the dire moments of the biggest fight yet, makes it a lot more easy to swallow due to the fact that the fights in One Piece, while being serious in nature, are never treated by Oda like there can't be incredibly goofy moments throughout them as well, and so that tone makes this power-up much less jarring and out of nowhere in a way that it might not work so well in other shonens. Again, Oda is one of a kind and has been blessed with an ability for storytelling unlike any the shonen genre has seen before and may ever see again. I mean, for us to now be over 1,000 chapters and episodes in, and for it to feel like we are not yet at the climax of the story, and for the consistency to have been there throughout the over 20-year run is just incredible. As the era of long-running shonen seems to be coming to an end, One Piece stands tall and glorious, with the reveal of Gear 5 again reminding us why we fell in love with this story, with this world, with this crew, and with this goofy boy who wears a straw hat. One Piece inspires us to push forward through hardships, to fight against those who would push down others, and to pursue our own dreams of freedom, no matter how big they might be. Gear 5 is the perfect symbol for these ideas and themes, and I can't wait to see where this story goes next. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.